What's up, and welcome back to another episode of Insights, the podcast built to help you with your recruitment in digital marketing. I'm joined this week by Hailey Birkner, account manager at Hailey Marketing. Hailey, how are we feeling this week?
Feeling great. Hailey with Hailey. I'm honored to finally get to come and join you.
I gotta ask, did we win anything on the Super Bowl?
Not me personally. I was very close, but no cigar.
I did not either. I was only in the Hailey Marketing fun pool, I guess you can call it. No real risk involved there. But the Patriots didn't win, so I'm pretty happy this Monday morning. Things are good here. I don't know who you were rooting for over in your neck of the woods, but being a Bills fan, you know sort of where I'm going to lean on that one.
Yeah, I was just rooting for a good game and some good commercials.
Yeah, let's talk commercials. A lot of AI commercials, actually. A lot of AI commercials. One of my favorites, it might have been for Claude, where they basically threw a shot at ChatGPT for running ads within ChatGPT. Did you catch that one?
I did. Yeah. I was very interested to see which AI people would be throwing in their hat to those ads.
I also really liked the Google Photos paired with Gemini ad. My wife was blown away by it because she doesn't use Gemini and Google Photos as much as I do. But it was a video or a commercial of basically a mom and a kid were moving to their new house. And the kid was obviously a little upset about it. So she was trying to show him what the new house will look like based on their old stuff. So she was using like a picture of the new room. And then she asked Gemini to put all of these toys and this bed in that room. So it kind of had this AI functionality like Gemini would use. Super cool. I know all about that, but it was interesting to see my wife react to it in a different way, a very motherly way. The tears were definitely there for that commercial, but it was a good one.
I agree. We can use AI in business and in our personal lives.
Very true. Hailey, you're here today to talk about account management, though. And while we could talk extensively about AI and have a conversation on that, I really want to get your thoughts on a lot of what you're currently doing for our current customers and our current clients, but how it translates to staffing and recruiting. And to get us started here, I've been sort of sitting on this thought lately that retention is built between deliverables. And retention isn't necessarily because of the deliverable or because of service delivery or the ROI that might come because of service delivery. That's really table stakes. You know, you have a service, I have money, I am paying for you to deliver that service. I expect your highest possible output. Otherwise, I wouldn't be paying you. The retention of whether or not I choose to work with you again comes between the deliverables or comes after the deliverable. What are your thoughts on that?
I couldn't agree more. Working with you, Brad, over the past couple of years, thinking that we started the account management here at Hailey Marketing.
Yeah.
I love account management. You get to kind of wear the cape and be the superhero day to day. After sales, they're really excited. Or, even thinking about what our clients do. Candidates get really excited. And then what happens to that relationship after? After they start seeing some success, are you checking in and saying, hey, do you have anybody that you know that wants to work with us? Or, hey, have things changed? Do you want to do something else with us? And being able to nurture that relationship versus just if something breaks, sending someone to another support ticket where they're going to have to wait. So that being consistent and being transparent and being able to save the day is really rewarding.
You mentioned the word consistency a few times there, and I've always said consistency beats intensity in anything that you do, right? If you go to the gym and you want to get healthy, the worst thing you could do is just go and run 30 miles and say, okay, I'm going to beat myself into shape. If anything, you're going to tear a bunch of stuff. You're going to be so sore. You're going to hurt yourself more than anything. It's the consistency that leads to improvements. I think the same is true in account management.
Absolutely. We're always getting into our think tank and thinking, what other ways would our clients like to hear from us? It doesn't always have to be this sales approach or, I need something from you in order to continue to nurture this relationship. Just saying, hey, I was thinking about you, or, on LinkedIn, I saw that you guys are celebrating 10 years. That's so great. So being able to just celebrate the little things outside of just give me more of your money.
Yeah. How do you set those triggers? So I think that's important. And I like what you're saying there. And I like the wave that you're on. But assume you're a staffing owner who has 75 customers. how do you maintain a personalized relationship with all of those accounts, right? Like you mentioned an anniversary, or you mentioned seeing somebody's LinkedIn post. How do you do that at scale?
I think with scale, it honestly, just asking somebody how they want to be communicated with, I will straight up ask, hey, do you want me to put a reminder on my calendar in a few months to check back with you? Do you need me to email you a lot? How persistent would you like me to be? Would
Yeah.
you like me to just give you a phone? So meeting people where they are and just asking is really nice, because then again, you're not being pushy. You're just creating a deeper relationship with someone and meeting them where they want to be met.
Which is good, because if you're persistent and just trying to have the communication how you want to communicate, that probably leads to people running for the hills as well, thereby not leading to retention, which we're all ultimately seeking. And the reason I'm going down this retention path is, one, I think it's important from an account management seat, but two, I think the industry is constantly looking for new logos. We're looking for new clients. We're looking to bring in new business when there is so much business to be won with our current accounts. And it's not that we neglect it. I just don't think we have the right strategy to nurture it and then get more from it.
I definitely agree. I at Hailey Marketing, I work with the clients that have our hosting or career portals. So those are kind of less ongoing, less touches, but they're the tip of the iceberg of the things that we can do here at Hailey Marketing. So being able to have those conversations of, hey, I know that this is what we're doing for you now. Here's how we can improve what we have. But also don't forget that we're able to help out here or here. Or tell me, how is business going today? What's important to you? And do the services that you have today align with what you're trying to do?
What do you think separates good account management from great account management?
Lots of people are great at checking boxes. Rather than checking boxes, I want to show up to a conversation prepared to maybe share something that isn't so great so that we can turn it into something great. I want to be proactive. If I see something, broken, I'm not just going to try to throw it to the next person. I'm gonna go try to fix something and go above and beyond. Because those 10 minutes that you spend
Mm-hmm.
just trying to come up with a quick solution can make somebody stay. And whenever that need comes for that opportunity for us to get more business, they're gonna come to us because we're the choice, because we've taken that extra step to show them we'll go above and beyond.
It's almost like you're acting like a coach or a consultant instead of just a transactional, you're my client. How do I get more business from you? Which I fully disagree with. But in that seat and how you articulated it, it's how can I coach? How can I consult? How can I tell you what I'm seeing within the industry with other clients to help your business in this conversation?
Absolutely. And then also, you talk to a lot of decision makers day to day, but then what are you doing to also get into the trenches with the people that are using your solution? Are you willing to also sit with them? So having different conversations with different people and just the willingness to jump in and be that coach. You're right.
How often should you speak with your current clients? So again, I'm thinking about the staffing owner who is again saying, okay, I get it. We should be leveraging our relationships. We should be working with our current customers, but we know they're not hiring right now. Do I really need to reach out to them? Do I really need to call them? How often do you propose you should be checking in with current customers or current clients?
Hey, really quick. Usually this is where I talk about one of Hailey Marketing Services. But today, our co-CEO, David, asked me to make a very specific offer exclusive to listeners of Take the Stage and Insights. Candidly, I think he's a little crazy, but here we go. He told me I could offer a $10,000 staffing website for half. That includes one of our proven starter sites, fully customized for your firm, brand new copy, our career portal software, and foundational SEO, all for 2 payments of $2,500, plus hosting and licensing. I got to be honest, the reason he's doing this, he wants me to prove people are actually listening to this show. So if you're thinking about a new website, message me on LinkedIn and mention the crazy website promo from Take the Stage or Insights. One catch, it's limited to the first 7 staffing firms. So don't wait. All right, let's get back to the show.
I make it a point to try to reach out to all of my clients at least quarterly.
Mhm.
And that's just to say hello, maybe with like a lot of information. And then I find that, there are going to be a small percentage that come and are ready to have a conversation. Maybe it's we need to address something that's going on in the account. Maybe there's an opportunity and they're curious about what I sent information on. Or, they're just saying, hey, thanks for the information and we'll move on. But the more you're able to do it little touches, then when the time is right, they'll let you know, and you stay top of mind. So that is helpful, so that they know who to contact when the time does come.
Yeah, it's almost that calculated but random drop in, right? So it's randomly dropping in with a current customer randomly, but knowing you're going to do it the second week of the quarter or whatever it might be. So it's on your calendar. It seems sort of spontaneous to the client that you're working with, but it's calculated so that you make sure that it gets done.
Yeah. And even like leaning on campaigns, like if I'm able to get a really cool campaign with different steps put together and add in automation, like that's exciting to me. I'm like, yes, some of this work is going to be done for me, so that I can just focus on making those calls and having those genuine connections versus having to create all the steps in between.
It's interesting. I don't think a lot of the industry is going down that automation route yet. At least a lot of the customers or clients, prospects that I'm talking to. I think it's on the radar. People know they need AI and automation and tech to improve and work alongside their current recruiters, but I don't think they're doing it at scale. What does that look like for you? So our team is building out automation sequences, things like that. I assume it's Rachel Reed and some of the marketing team over here. When do you actually get involved, though? So sort of paint the picture for what would become then the staffing owner who is listening to this.
Yeah, I think that's I like to think about that picture. I'm a visual person. So you've got to start with your list. So you've got your list, and sometimes this list is going to include anybody and everyone, because you've got this really great piece of information and everyone should know. Other times you might have a more filtered list by looking at service specific. So maybe there's a specific offer that I have for this audience. And so being able to filter down that list. But once you've got your list, then you've got your why, you've got the piece of information that you want to reach out with, and you're going to be able to create. Maybe you're creating a landing page. Maybe you're creating email sequences that just have a link to a blog. But you're looking for a few different touches that you can put into a series of weeks. Like I'm not going to reach out to 50 people a day. That's not necessarily what we're looking for. But if we can send these email touches and have, hey, give this person a phone call and mark the day on the spreadsheet whenever you complete it. And that one yes from just having those conversations can change an entire day, an entire week. That's how those amazing Pearl one call closes happen, is by like doing the steps that are in the campaign, and just reaching people in different places. Having that organized inside a campaign, which you could easily do with AI to kind of get you started.
Yeah.
And then it's all about tracking. So you've got to make the campaign, do the campaign, and then evaluate what came from the campaign. What did we learn? Are we going to do it at that scale again? Do we need to reach different people? Is the messaging correct?
It's all about having a plan, right? So I think what I'm hearing from you is this has to be calculated. Account management can't be an afterthought. It can't be, hey, we have these 30 customers and we need to get a hold of them sometime in Q2. There has to be a plan. John Ruffini, who's been on the show once already, and then I traded shows. I've been on his show. He always says, plan your work and work your plan. And I think a lot of what you're alluding to follows that methodology of, okay, account management cannot be an afterthought. We need to know, who are we reaching out to? Is there some sort of segmentation happening? If there's segmentation, what's the messaging that's being said and conveyed? Once we know the messaging, when is someone like Hailey, or when is your account manager going to step in for a phone call, a drop by, whatever it might be? When am I going to ask you for a coffee? Something like that if you're local to a very specific area. And then how is the machine also just going to work for you behind the scenes as well?
Yeah, you gotta know what you want to work with too. We've got so many options of solutions that are out there. It can be overwhelming to try to decide what you want to do. And frankly, not all of it's going to be relevant to what your end goals are. So we don't want to just throw spaghetti at the wall and see if it sticks. We want to know it's going to work because we've seen it work with this system before.
Yeah. What do you do in your seat when you're met with silence, or you're met with, let's leave it at silence for now. So I think in a lot of cases, business owners might see silence as a positive. No news is good news. I would actually disagree. I think no news is terrible news. We can't act without feedback. We can't act without some sort of feedback loop. If I don't know whether or not the service is good or poor, we can't make adequate changes alongside of that. So I think the whole methodology of no news is good news is actually kind of fraudulent in staffing. I think we need to make sure that we're having conversations with our current customers regularly. So knowing that, yes, okay, we want to have a call with every client every quarter. Physically, it's not going to happen, right? People are going to ghost you. People are just not going to show up. Medical emergencies, God forbid, things happen, okay? So when you're met with silence, Hailey, what do you often do?
With any problem, I like to start with getting creative. How have I tried to reach out to them before? Who have I tried to reach out to? I'm sure that there's more than one person to reach out to at a company that you might be able to try to get some different insights from. Doing research. I think that if you are met with silence, then there's got to be, a reason. And is that reason for some sort of accident that's out of our control and we just need to have a little patience? Or are they going through something and I need to reach to a different person and maybe broaden all the people that I chat with at an organization as well?
Yeah, I mean, that's another point. Are you reaching out to the right person in the first place? Is silence a result of Hailey no longer works at Hailey's widget company and now we need to find somebody else? I just always think it's interesting that when we're trying to plan some sort of cadence to reach out from an account management standpoint, silence can't be accepted as a win, right? Oh, I checked the box and I reached out to that customer. Things must be good because they didn't reach out for an order yet, but they didn't say no. So they're sort of looming in the darkness. That to me is a red flag. I want some sort of tell me you're alive and tell me what's going on so that we can either make changes if things are off or continue compounding on our success if things are going right.
Yeah. And sometimes just asking the question of, hey, I know that this was really important to you. I didn't see that you got a solution in place. Did you? Is this still of interest? Do you need me to kick this rock down the road and remind you at a different time? But I don't often accept silence. So I will get creative on just telling them to tell me to buzz off for now, and I'll come back at a different time.
Yeah.
But I think that sometimes that's kind of a test. Like if I go quiet, what are you going to do? It's kind of, when you're dating somebody new, are they going to continue to pursue me in a positive way? Like they didn't forget about me. And people want to see what you're willing to do to continue to nurture that relationship.
Yeah. I think there's also a note of, are you reaching out how they want to be communicated with? If you're constantly asking for some sort of Zoom conversation and they just don't want to be on video and they're kind of passing you off because of that, okay, can we trade emails? Can we have a phone call? Do you want to do this on LinkedIn? What sort of works for you in terms of a conversation? Don't be so cemented into this is how I do things and this is how I need you to do it to sort of conform into my structure. Instead, let's go in it with relationship first and just ultimately reach the goal that we want, which is the conversation or advancing the relationship. Because again, in my mind, if retention is built in between the deliverables, it's not necessarily the service delivery every 6 to 12 months or whatever it might be, right? The job order that we get twice a year where we win on the retention. It's what you're doing within those 6 months that makes sure Brad's widget company comes back to you the next time they're trying to hire.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And they probably might have more business that you might be able to try to win as well. So being able just to maintain the relationship versus check boxes.
Do you still believe in email communication given, at time of recording, I've been at the studio now for about an hour. I have another session today. By the time I get back to the office, I'll probably have like 75 emails. And I bet the owners listening right now will have double that, right? Do you still believe in email communication as a primary form of account management?
Hey, it's Brad taking a quick break to give a shout out to a team I trust deeply at Foxhire. I've known their team for over 7 years now, and if you're looking for an employer of record partner that helps recruiters confidently grow contract placements and build recurring revenue without taking on extra risk, Foxhire is perfect for you. They do it all: payroll, taxes, benefits, workers' comp, and multi-state compliance behind the scenes. You keep full control of your client relationships and bill rates, while Foxhire takes on the employer responsibility and back office work. This makes it easier to turn contract placements into predictable recurring revenue. I gotta be honest, I trust the team at Foxhire. And if you're considering an EOR partner, I'd love for you to have a conversation with them to hear how Foxhire can support your growth. You can visit foxhire.com/Hailey for more information. All right, let's get back to the show.
Yeah, I think that there are emails that get replies. I think there's got to be some creativity with it. There has to be, you've got to, don't waste anybody's time in an email anymore. It's kind of like whenever somebody comes to the homepage of your website, they're making a decision super quick, the Amazon one-click shopping experience. Your email better have exactly what they need and better share why they should respond, or they're not going to. Kind of the same as we are from buying anything.
I think too often, I'm with you. I think too often we go into an email with, I'm telling you what I need from you. And I'm going in with an expectation instead of just figuring out what I can do to better sort of serve you in the relationship. And if we go into it from that sort of customer logic, instead of the, I want more orders, I want more sales, and just thinking through, okay, tell me more about your business. What challenges are you facing? What pain are you feeling right now? And let's dissect that pain and sort of coming at it from that lens. I think we'll see better return. And that almost sounds sort of obvious, but I still think in a lot of ways, whether it's sales or account management, a lot of what the industry is doing is we need the order now. Sales have been down for 4 years. The industry's been down for 4 years. I need to keep my lights on, so I need the orders today. So I go in very transactionally. And if we continue to do that and we don't nurture the relationships, we don't put account management at the forefront, I'm afraid we're still going to be transactional and we're still going to be desperate this time next year. And I don't want people to feel that way this time next year.
Agreed. We're all the time asking our clients, it's one of the easiest things. How about referrals or low hanging fruit of going back to people you haven't chatted with in 6 months to 2 years? Just asking for the conversation goes above and beyond more than other people are doing. And it's much easier to relight the fire versus trying to go and start a brand new one.
Good line. One thing that I really like that we do really well, I think exceptionally well actually, that I think the staffing industry could learn from is better segmentation as it relates to your database. So thinking about all of your customers and all of your accounts and sort of where they're at in the buying process of additional business with you. Right. And in some ways that could be broken down into former customers in managing that account. It could be broken down into current customers who aren't giving you a ton of business, right? Maybe you get those one order every now and again. And then you have your high volume clients who are putting in repeat orders every other week or every month. Those relationships should be managed, but sort of managed a little differently, right? Those blue chip accounts maybe need a little bit more handholding. They need more high touch, high volume communication than the ones who are sort of, I'll talk to you in 12 months kind of clients. What do you say? Go ahead, please.
I was just thinking also that some of those accounts, those blue chip accounts, may have, it's almost like too many cooks in the kitchen. You've got so many people working on the success of this account because they have so many different arms from the organization that you're working with. So you might, like for my example personally, working with the clients that do website hosting and the career portal, it's not as much check-in. So there's more opportunity where you can see easily where your resources are probably being given to, because that's where you're going to have to get the most attention to the people who have the most business. But it's easy to kind of turn around and just make sure that everybody else is also enjoying themselves at the table with you.
From an account management standpoint, how do you manage the loudest client? Right. So I'm thinking about the staffing owner who I'm thinking about the client who's constantly in your inbox, who is constantly either emailing you or calling you for maybe just questions about the service that you're providing. They're the loudest. And typically, you pick up the crying baby, right? You pick up the loudest baby in the room because they need attention, and the baby that's playing in the corner sort of just operates, right? They're playing with their blocks, they're doing their thing. I have 2 kids. This is easy for me to explain. You pick up the crying baby. And I think in an account management standpoint, it's easy to say, okay, well, there's Hailey again. She's in my inbox again. So she's a high touch account just because she's the loudest. What do you say to the owner who sort of is managing that alongside with the accounts who could have a ton of potential that are just dormant, that are quiet?
I honestly do like to treat all of my accounts the same, and I do have some more high touch clients, and I think it's more of I appreciate that they want to reach out because they know that I'm going to get whatever it is done. So it's kind of
Yeah.
an honor at some
Yeah.
point because they know that you're going to be the consistent one that gets it done. And if I can be that person, and do that for, I think that's who Hailey Marketing is as a brand as well. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the reasons I wanted to join this great team is because they do want to give that world-class service to anyone and everyone.
Yeah.
So just having a lot of, personal conviction and taking it personally and treating it like it is, like these people are going to succeed because I'm able to step in and help out. I think that's invaluable. So choosing your account manager, you've got to have someone that's patient, but then also can be consistent to anyone and everyone, because you don't know if that person that's angry in a high touch account will have some really amazing business opportunities in the future, and you're going to be the only choice because you're the one that stuck it out and answered their calls
Yep.
and it didn't matter, versus the ones that maybe you don't have as much success with the person that you do currently have success with. So any account should be treated as equally as the last.
And that again comes back to retention being one between deliverables, right? It's having a strong account manager and account rep that is working with you all the time and is giving you the service that you deserve, right? I think service is table stakes. I'm paying you for a service. I expect it to be good, great. The retention comes from how you treat me between those deliverables. It's funny you mentioned Hailey Marketing too. I remember when I started, it was either a conversation with Brad Smith or David Stearns at the time, but we were giving away so much content, and we still do. I mean, we have the podcast, Lunch with Hailey, Smart Ideas, the blogs, daily blogs almost. We have all these how-to articles and ebooks and white papers and webinars and resources. Thousands of resources. And I remember when I had first started saying something along the lines of like, why don't we gate this for like $4.99 a month and just gate it? And it was either Brad or David who just said, we don't do that. We are here to elevate the industry and give away these secrets and give away this support. And that's fundamentally who we are. And now I'm bought into that methodology. I mean, I've run the show now for 7 years and I get it. But I remember starting thinking like, what are we doing? why are we just giving all of this away? And again, I think that comes back to retention being one between deliverables. It's how you treat your current customers, the industry, when you're not providing that service that matters.
Yeah. And that the content that our leadership is sharing all the time is not only relevant to our clients, but it also is relevant to me. I love that student mentality. So another important account manager trait is going to be caring about the things that are troubling your current clients. So lots of people want new business. And so that's why we're talking about retention here today. So just caring about all those different things is important to be able to just provide that extra step.
When you think about account management in staffing and recruiting, what haven't I asked yet that matters to you that you think owners would care about?
Hey, it's Brad taking a short break to tell you about an offer exclusive to listeners of Take the Stage. 30 minutes of strategic marketing consultation with me, completely free. Hey, whether you're looking to drive more sales or more job applications, I want to help. Visit bit.ly/stage offer. Pick a time that works best for you. That's it. Again, whether you want to drive more applications or more job orders, I want to help. That's bit.ly/stage offer. All right, Let's get back to the show.
I like to say that account managers are kind of your account executive from within. So
Okay.
it's another layer to your sales engine as we continue to talk about that staffing engine.
I agree. It's another layer that I think is critical and I think is often overlooked. Again, when I look at the industry as a whole, and just one person observing it, but for 14 years now, I think the industry has a tendency to constantly want more. It's more business from more logos, from new logos. It's constantly this chase of more. And that's okay, right? I'm not here to say we don't need to have new business and have new client acquisition strategies and things like that. I'm not here to say that. But I do think we're grossly underestimating the amount of business that we could drive from our current customers through an account management function that, as I've seen it, stereotypically, is lacking in the industry. I think if you have a strong account management structure where you are consistently working between deliverables and you're winning the relationship between deliverables, that to me is what drives retention, drives more business, drives everything that you're looking to drive from people who already know, like, and trust you, right? You've already won the relationship. It's just a matter of nurturing it and continuing to strengthen it.
Yeah, remaining that authentic. So many people want the magic bullet, the silver spoon to be handed right to them, or lots of association events that I go to, everyone's like, I don't want to share my secret sauce, but your authenticity and the personality and your consistency and showing up and educating and just building that relationship versus just always asking for something in return, that is your secret sauce. That's not replaceable. So if you're able to just show up and have a conversation and someone's able to be honest with you, and then you're able to help them through or improve service and get that feedback so that you're able to work with them how they want to be worked with, then you're going to win every time. There is the competition, and your price isn't going to matter because they are going to trust that you are fair and just and consistent, just as you always have been.
She's Hailey Birkner, account manager at Hailey Marketing. Hailey, thanks so much for coming on this episode of Insights and sharing all of your insights with us.
Thanks for having me.